We are ready to move forward. We have an agreement.
Shutdown averted. With the clock winding down, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced tonight they have secured the votes to keep government running.
We're tracking another cold front and another chance of rain for the inland Northwest come tomorrow night.
Two governors dealing with one ruthless virus and both with very different approaches. But tonight, Jay Inslee and Brad Little are asking people in their states to do the same thing. Get vaccinated. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM2 News at 10 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Well, new tonight, firefighters were called to an intense fire on North Regal Street near Chief Gary Park earlier this evening. Take a look. As you can see in the video, the fire was at times pretty intense. The good news is firefighters say no one was hurt in that fire, yet the garage and the two cars inside considered total losses. But since it was a detached garage, no damage was done to the house itself. The cause of that fire remains under investigation tonight. Well, you are taking a live look right now at the U.S. Capitol, where Democratic leader Chuck Schumer announced an agreement in federal spending a little earlier tonight in order to prevent that government shutdown. We are tracking that big development tonight. The House and Senate will vote tomorrow on legislation to keep the government open through December 3rd. Skylar Henry reports from Washington tonight.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats and Republicans have reached a deal to avert a shutdown of the federal government.
We are ready to move forward. We have an agreement on the CR, the continuing resolution to prevent a government shutdown.
The Senate will vote on the stopgap measure on Thursday morning and then send it to the House. Senator Schumer says it should reach the president's desk before the midnight deadline.
This would literally be a default of stupidity.
The resolution would fund the government through December 3rd. It apparently does not address the nation's debt ceiling. Republicans have refused to sign off on legislation that would increase it.
Not raising the debt limit has potentially catastrophic economic implications. So it's time for the Democrats to do this. They know they have the power to do it. They want us to do it instead.
A shutdown could derail President Biden's trillion-dollar infrastructure plan and an even bigger social spending bill. The White House is actively involved in the negotiations on Capitol Hill. So far, President Biden has been unable to win over the two Democrats blocking his domestic agenda. Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin have both expressed concerns about the cost of the president's proposals. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
So Chuck Schumer's agreement would include emergency assistance to Afghan refugees and areas impacted by recent natural disasters. There will be votes on 3 amendments prior to the final passage vote. The Senate convenes at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Votes on the amendments begin at 10:30 in the morning. We'll keep you posted on that. Well, the Seattle Mariners are close to getting a wild card spot. Tonight they are facing off against the Oakland A's, and our sister station in Seattle is at the game with the very latest.
It has been a great season so far. Just when we think the Mariners don't really have a chance, they keep on surprising us, right? And businesses in this area cannot be happier.
What are we having?
Spicy Polish with onions, please.
Okay.
Al Griffin has been serving up gourmet hot dogs on Occidental Avenue for 27 years.
Yeah, it's been really tough for COVID. But now things have opened up, so fans are coming back, so it's really good.
He's just a stone's throw away from the ballpark, and fans love it.
I see a lot of my old customers back. That's what the good part is.
A potential wild card run sounds pretty good for Al. He remembers the last time the Mariners made it to the playoffs decades ago.
We've been waiting 20 years. Onions?
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
We've been waiting all season for this to happen.
Bruce and Craig Stewart grabbing a hot dog at Al's before the game.
Seattle's been a baseball city for a while, but we haven't really had any claim to fame with how long it's been, so hopefully they can make it happen.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Across town at the newly opened sportsbook at Snoqualmie Casino, Mariners fans placing their bets on their home team in their home state.
If Boston loses 2 and we win the rest, we're straight into we win the wild card.
And doing the math on the odds.
It's been so long, right? You feel like you don't want to get tricked into believing and tricked in and then feeling foolish or whatever, because for 19 seasons now, they've never made the playoffs or the postseason anyways.
The sportsbook opening for Washington at the right place at the right time.
We have guests that come in, place a bet, and then they tell us that they're going to the game.
Fans just hoping for the best.
Just bring back that 2001 feeling. This team's hungry.
Hungry for baseball in Seattle to go on just a little bit longer.
When we're winning, we get more fans.
This could be one of the hottest tickets in town later on this weekend. So what are ticket sales looking like? Well, a Mariners rep says that there are plenty of seats available for the next 3 games this weekend. So if you want to buy a ticket for a Mariners game here at T-Mobile Park, you can definitely do so. In Seattle, I'm Christine Pay, KREM2 News.
Well, currently the Mariners are winning 3-2 at the bottom of the 8th inning. If they win, they'll be a half a game back from that wild card spot. By the way, again, the Mariners have not been to the playoffs since 2001. Fingers crossed. Well, the Spokane Indians partnered with No Lie Brewhouse for a fundraiser for the Spokane River and the Red Band Rally campaign tonight. Red Band Rally beer bats were sold for $20 and filled with No Lie's Red Band Ale or Big Juicy IPA. Proceeds from tonight's event will be used to preserve the healthy habitat within the Spokane River for Spokane's red band rainbow trout population. Indian Senior Vice President Otto Klein said the Indians will work with all of their local constituents to decide the best ways to use those funds.
It's all about building up the fund. Whether we do it with beer bats, whether we do it with jerseys, whether we do it with the hats, it doesn't matter. As much as money as we can raise for the Spokane River, it helps the entire community, and that's what we want.
Klein said he expected around 50 to 100 people, but more than 200 showed up. The Indians are also holding an online auction which ends tomorrow. You can find more information on that and what's being auctioned off at the Spokane Indians website. All right, let's talk weather now. A pretty nice fall day here in the inland Northwest, but a bit chilly again today. Didn't even break 60 degrees. Let's get out to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center. And Thomas, my goodness, tonight we are almost in the 40s.
Yeah, still at 50 degrees as of right now. This is about what we felt yesterday as well. But get this, another cold front is on the way. Thankfully, the cold front isn't going to knock down our temperatures all that much, and we actually will get a day between now and then to actually warm things up, that being tomorrow. You look at all this rain that's moving into the Seattle area as of right now. So T-Mobile Park has the roof closed as of the moment. Here's that cold front. This is the weather system that's moving into Washington west side tonight, east side for tomorrow. So we are expecting quite a bit of rain by around this point tomorrow night, especially for the heart of the inland Northwest. Between about 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. is generally when I'm thinking that rain is going to fall. You're going to take a look at our computer modeling in just a moment later in the broadcast. But for the weekend, looking a lot nicer as our temperatures will be pushing 70 degrees. So a bit of a roller coaster ride our temperatures will go on. But again, we'll show you that computer model in terms of the rain timing and how much rain is expected to fall this time around.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. Today, Idaho Governor Brad Little visited the Kootenai County Fairgrounds in Coeur d'Alene. He was there to tour the monoclonal antibody treatment center run by Heritage Health. The site at the fairgrounds runs 3 days a week and can handle 48 patients a day. They say they have capacity for 6 patients at a time, and they are currently fully booked until at least Friday. At Heritage Health, all of the people they have treated have avoided the need for hospitalization from COVID-19. Little says that while the monoclonal sites are good for treating those with COVID, the key to getting the crisis under control is for people to get vaccinated. This comes as he says the situation is still dire.
If you get into a bad car wreck or you have a heart attack, you're going to get care, but it's close right now. What you're not going to get is the elective or discretionary surgery that's necessary, and we just can't do that for very long, and that's why what Heritage is doing up here is so important.
Kootenai Health leaders also said today their resources are still being stretched thin by that high number of COVID patients. They are treating 115 COVID patients today, 41 in critical care, 17 on ventilators. Leaders say they are seeing the highest illness levels as well as more cases among younger people. They've had 34 people die of COVID this month alone, which they say is the highest since the pandemic started and more than they normally see die of any single disease in a given month. Meantime, Washington Governor Jay Inslee also made his way to the inland Northwest today. He visited Spokane to see how the COVID-19 response is going in our hospitals. KREM2's Amanda Rowley shares what he learned and how soon we could see the National Guard mobilize.
We've seen COVID-19 hospitalizations rise to an all-time high in Spokane County. Does this mean we will soon see assistance from the National Guard? Governor Jay Inslee says right now it is not necessary. He says mobilizing the National Guard is currently not in the contingency plan. That's because, he says, many medical professionals who are in the Guard are already serving in the private sector.
And the greatest shortage that we need are medical professionals. So the medical professionals who are in the Guard, except for a very few, are already working in the community. So we don't really add much capacity in that regard.
His office confirms vaccination rates are one factor in not mobilizing the Guard at this time. Governor Inslee also learned how COVID-19 hospitalizations have impacted thousands of elective surgeries in Spokane County. Providence Multicare Hospitals put a pause on elective surgeries in August. Providence told the governor both Sacred Heart and Holy Family hospitals have postponed 2,000 surgeries. Inslee says these are women with breast cancer, people with brain tumors, and people with cardiac problems who are desperately waiting to have their procedures.
So we have 2,000 people in Spokane County today who haven't been able to get their cancer treated, for goodness sakes, because we have other thousands of people in Spokane County who haven't been willing to get this vaccine. That's very discouraging, and it needs to change.
We also confirmed that all Multicare, Deaconess, and Valley hospitals have postponed 1,800 elective surgeries since August. That's about 3,800 total surgeries in Spokane County.
That was Amanda Rowley reporting. Parkway Elementary in Clarkston will move to remote learning starting tomorrow. Remote learning will continue until October 11th, they said. According to a press release, a rise in COVID cases is the reason why. Breakfast and lunch are still available to pick up for students enrolled at Parkway. Parent-teacher conferences will be held through Zoom or by phone. If you have any questions, you're urged to call the school directly, they say. Well, our own Whitney Ward has been on assignment the last couple of days. She's been in Moses Lake visiting an ICU overwhelmed by coronavirus patients. That story will air tomorrow night right here on KREM2, but tonight she's giving us a sneak peek.
It's like you're falling down a well and there's no place to grab a hold of.
I think that they're just getting more and more kind of tired and maybe a little bit frustration.
What do you think is fueling some of that frustration?
The fact that every day they come to work and it's just as demanding as it was the day before.
And then we have people in our community doubting our abilities, our word, and that we are somehow deceiving them about what's really happening inside these walls.
Were you worried coming to the hospital?
Yes.
What did you worry about?
That it was going to keep getting worse and worse, and I'm going to be one of those that they flip-flop and it ain't gonna work and I'm gonna die.
That story is coming up tomorrow night right here on KREM2. All right, still ahead tonight. Why your grocery shopping experience might be a little different this weekend, what you'll need to bring with you this next time, and utilities could be shut off for thousands of Washington residents starting tomorrow. We'll tell you why that is when we come back in just 90 seconds.